Well, I'm glad we got the win, and again, go in and always congratulate our players after a win. Didn't think we played great. We thought we were a little slow out of the gates. Thought our energy and effort was a little bit lower than it needed to be to start the game. We had a lot of technical things that I feel like we can do better, and we will. And hopefully this is a learning experience for our team on how to be sharp and to be the best basketball team you can be. You can't take nights off, regardless of your opponent. So I think it may be a learning experience after a win instead of a loss.
Questions, please. Steve?
Just what changed there, maybe the second quarter, the third quarter, seeing the intensity picked up, how relative kind of got to be focused.
Right, I thought our defensive energy was really good in the third quarter. I thought we had a group that came in, a lot of our bench came in there and gave us great energy. I think we held them down. They scored 5 points there, and that's where our energy came from. We were able to make some buckets during that time, but also just feed off of our defense, and that was really a positive and good to see.
Corey, you're in the front row.
Kellie, you guys outscored them 38-21 in the second half. Just what was your message to the team at halftime? What was the mood like in the locker room?
Well, we talked about their energy level not being where it needed to be, and needing to take advantage of our pace, and we talked a lot about rebounding. We talked a lot about taking care of the basketball, and I think they understood. I think they were feeling it, and they're still young with what we're doing. So I think it's sometimes hard to go from not playing well to turning that around and finishing strong. I thought they finished much better than they started, so that's a positive for us. But they were able to recognize it and be able to get out of it.
David, back.
Hey Coach, first congrats on the win. What, from your point of view, what was the reason behind so many turnovers tonight?
Well, it wasn't really the pace. I think it was a mixture of things. I think a lot of casual plays, casual passes. We had too many 3-second calls. We're just not aware of where we're at. A few offensive fouls with our screens. And then just, not being physical and tough enough when you get the ball. We had some jump balls that turned over. So it was not just one thing. If we were only turning the ball over in transition, we could probably live with that. But it's all over the court turnovers. We can clean those up. We've just got to be focused and disciplined to do it.
Kellie, with the injury to Zay, obviously you're only 4 games into the season, but you were trying to figure out rotations and things of that nature, and it's almost like you kind of you kind of have to hit a reset button. So just kind of how was that process going in terms of just determining who can play how much and when without one of those players?
Well, obviously that threw a kink into things, losing Zay. Zay's a very good basketball player, and she can do so many things, both offensively and defensively, and she always brings energy. I think that's going to be one thing that we missed tremendously from her. But also, we went from 6 guards down to 5. So our rotations now have to be a little bit longer stretches for certain people. We may end up seeing Lou Brown a little bit on the perimeter, and therefore our post players they've got to be ready. So we have some depth there to be able to move Lou if we need to. So we're still working on things, trying to figure some things out. I think we've seen some good play from our guards. We've seen some play that they can improve on as well. So we're still working on it.
Bill, left front.
Kellie, yesterday Geno Auriemma made some disparaging comments about Tennessee. It's the second time he's done it in a public forum. And I'm not asking you to comment about Westbrook's status, but when he talks about the Tennessee environment, and this is something you have to face when you're going to be going into fruit homes and things like that, what are your initial thoughts about it and what he said and how you're going to respond to things like that?
Well, from my viewpoint, obviously, I'm only here now, and the 12 players that I'm working with, they are bought in, they play hard, practice hard. They have good team chemistry. So, you know, from my viewpoint, Tennessee is a great place to be a student athlete.
Maria?
Coach, Tamari Key instinctively keeps the ball high, which is unusual for a freshman. It looked like Cassie made an effort to keep the ball high tonight. She was very efficient at the rim. Has that become a point of focus for Cassie inside?
We're working on keeping Cassie from dribbling the ball. She likes to catch and dribble in the paint. She got to rebound and not in dribble. Again, she's so powerful and so strong. When she brings that ball down to the floor, she allows guards to play with her. And we're still working on that with her. I think she's got some habits there that, you know, make her smaller, really. So hopefully we can continue to work with her about going and getting it and scoring without putting the ball on the floor. So, like you said, playing high with the basketball.
Marshall in the back and then Dan.
Kelly, if you're in the back, looking at Ray Burrell tonight, obviously leading the way in points, and especially with Zay going down with an injury, how much is it, how important is it for you to get some of that production off the bench like we saw tonight with Ray?
Well, I think the thing you get with Ray, she's going to come in and make a play. It's going to happen. You know, sometimes they're negative, a lot of times they're positive, but she's going to come in and give us something, and I love that. I love that. We need that coming off the bench. We need somebody coming in with fire, with energy, and as she continues to get more minutes and continues to get more comfortable, I think you'll see even better play from her. That's my expectations for her. She's really good, but she's still young in her basketball, to be quite honest with you. So I think the future is really bright for her and for our team with the role that she has right now.
Dan?
Kelly, you were using a lot of different combinations tonight. Were you just looking for energy or addressing specific things, or were you just trying to get people some minutes, maybe use this game as an opportunity to do that?
Tonight, the substitutions came for various reasons. A few times it came from our typical let's get some subs in, get them some minutes. There were a few times that had I had one more guard, you would have seen a line change. You know, I was disappointed in maybe how 5 people were playing, and you know, so the subs came for a variety of reasons tonight. But I think that's the way you're going to see us play. You're going to see a lot of people in there. You're going to see a lot of different combinations, and that's how we practice. We practice a lot of different people together, so I think they're used to it, and it allows me to continue to find things that may work, and then maybe stick with those a little bit longer.
Steve, Maria, and then Dan.
Cameron Harris seems to be getting more minutes than she's ever gotten in her career. What have you seen from her, and what do you need to see from her to kind of continue having this kind of role?
Right. Well, I think in practice she's actually been one of our most consistent defensive players in the post, so that's been really positive. The other thing that's been happening recently, she has actually shot the ball very well from 15, 16 feet. And having a post player that can knock down some outside shots is a real positive for us. Obviously, when we're going low minutes, we're not playing Jaden right now. That opens up another spot, and Cam has stepped in. I thought she'd had good minutes at Notre Dame and was able to have some good minutes today.
Maria, Ben, and then David.
Kelly, you certainly understand what it's like to go down with an ACL injury early in the season. You've been there. Zay looks like she's doing all she can from the sideline, her attitude, but you know it's a hard blow for her to take. How can you help her in this process?
Right. Well, you know, I've been trying to talk to Zay daily about her injury and where she's at. One of the hardest things, in my opinion, and from my experience, that she's going to have to deal with is staying engaged in the team when you feel a little bit removed. I know for me that was a big challenge. I've seen that with some former players. So the good thing is Zay's a big personality and you can't miss her. And so hopefully she will continue to be that for the team. And it doesn't just help her teammates, it helps her. I think it helps her stay positive, because going through an ACL surgery and rehab, it's hard. It's really hard, and it just feels long and drawn out because you want to be out there with the team. So we continue to encourage her daily. I've talked to her about being there for her every step of the way. And I think it's different when you've got somebody to talk to that's been through it.
Ben and then David.
Just with the Notre Dame win, how do you feel like your team responded to such an emotional game on the road, and do you think that maybe that played a part of the slow start tonight?
I think we had a little bit of a letdown coming off of the Notre Dame win. Everybody was so excited, so elated. There was so much emotion and energy put forward towards that game. We came back. We had a practice yesterday. I didn't love practice yesterday. I just felt like we were going through the motions a little bit. We weren't locked in as well as we needed to be. And we talked about that during practice, and then I think it carried over into the game. So, again, lesson learned for our team. Hopefully they understand when we're talking about practice carrying over, that's what we were talking about, and I think they can see that.
David and then Marshall to close us out.
Jordan Horston kind of came in the first half and was a little bit of a spark plug. I think she was like plus 21 in the first half. Is this something that we always see from her, and is that how she is in practice, and that just translates to the game?
Well, I think she is a playmaker. I think when we get the ball in her hands, I think she's looking to make a play. As she continues to get more college minutes, you're going to see her getting better, and she's already pretty good. She can make shots, she can create, get people open. I think she can defend, and as she gets a little bit more savvy, and that you're only going to get that with experience, I think you're going to just see her game continue to improve. We need her on the court making plays for us.
Kelly, big picture, you look at the win against Notre Dame, maybe a slow start today. How much did you already know about this team going into the season, and how much are you finding out each game kind of about who this team is?
Well, I think we're still learning. I think we have said from several months now that our biggest challenge is going to be adversity. I think we handled our first piece of adversity, and our first piece was not Notre Dame. It was playing without Zay. I think that was the adversity that we had to handle, and I thought we handled that very well. So that's encouraging. I think now one of the next pieces for this team in terms of our growth as a basketball team is becoming consistent. We've proved that we can play at a pretty good level, pretty elite level. We've also proved that we can, play very average. So how can we become a more consistent basketball team? I think that's going to be one of our challenges moving forward.
Good. Thank you very much.